I have a breaking news. Cubs signed Jon Berti.
No way.
Yeah.
What? Who would have thought we would have breaking news on our first episode? Robert Murray just now, free agent Jon Berti, and the Cubs are in agreement.
I knew we'd get a guy like that. I knew it. I did not hold out hope for that.
Hey, what's up, Cubs fans? Before I get into this video, I want to give you a little bit of context. So we just started our very first episode of what's called The Dugout. It's a show for Cubs fans by Cubs fans, and it's in our free Facebook group called Cubs Talk. The link is down in the description. So if you watch this and you're like, hey, I want to talk Cubs with Kyle and the Setup Man crew, then you're going to want to be in this Facebook group because we're doing this show every single week. So what is it? It's basically old school sports talk radio. You get to come on, you get to ask your questions, you get to rant, you get to, if you want to do your best Harry Carey impression, by all means, come in and just have some fun with us. So you're going to see a few people come in and share their thoughts. We've got David, a longtime listener. We've got Cody from CHGO. He made an appearance. And how about this? Doug Birdsell, Brandon Birdsell's dad, made an appearance. Pretty cool. I was actually going to release the Brandon Birdsell interview today, but because of this crazy timing with Jon Berti signing and coming to an agreement with the Cubs right as we were going live, it was too good of television to not post this. So we'll do the Brandon Birdsell interview tomorrow. Watch this, a few compilations of some guys coming in and talking Cubs baseball. Let me know what you think of the Jon Berti signing down in the comments.
Wasn't he in the Yankees at the end of last year?
Yes.
Okay, for sure. At one point,
so he's going to be that quote unquote veteran backup third baseman to Matt Shaw.
Yeah,
that was not the name I was expecting. But hey, he had 41 stolen bases in 2022.
I always pictured him second base. So my first thought was, oh, this is a Nico insurance policy for now. I just don't think they're moving Shaw to second if Nico's out.
Well, I think Alex is right. They need someone to insure the first 2 weeks so that Nico doesn't have to rush back.
2.4 baseball reference WAR player in 22 and 23. That's gonna be a decent bench bat. I'm okay with it.
You said 2.4?
Yeah, in 22 and 23.
Last year, that would rank 7th in Cubs WAR.
Yeah, he'd be above Cody Bellinger.
Yeah.
So let me ask you guys something.
Yeah, let's hear it.
Why is nobody talking about Kyle Finnegan as a realistic bullpen option for the Cubs?
I feel like we've been talking about him all offseason. It just hasn't grown any legs.
Yeah.
You know,
I heard a Twitter rumor. Again, Twitter rumor, so take this for what it's worth. I heard he wasn't interested. Again, Twitter rumor, who knows?
Listen, it's got to be Finnegan. It's got to be Kenley Jansen. It's got to be David Robertson. Like, someone needs to be signed. And I asked you guys when we started, what's your confidence that there's going to be a closer signed? Let's see. Chris York says 4 out of 10. Kyle Lawson, 10 out of 10. Bob, 10. Tom Cleveland, 2. Jimmy, 7. Jeremy, 7. So, we're all over the board on this, but I would say the majority have a good feeling that we're going to get a closer type of pitcher. Look who we got.
Well.
What's up, fellas?
CHGO himself.
CHGO superstar Cody.
What's up, man?
Trying to tweet about Jon Berti. I mean, just a hell of a move by Jed Hoyer and company. I mean,
wasn't it less than 10 days ago they said that we're going to do it internally? We're going to find this internally. Now, last time I checked in the dictionary, internally means within the organization already. This is externally.
He did. Yeah, I was gonna say he did say at Cubs convention that bench and bullpen were there. Yeah, he didn't lie. The biggest thing, I don't know if you guys touched on this. I was listening at the beginning, and then I had a hell of a time trying to get in here through my iPhone, so I missed some time. But one of the biggest things over the last, I guess you can say, 5 days that has blown my mind is that I feel like Jed Hoyer and Tom Ricketts were as transparent as they've ever been in this era of baseball. Because I feel like they've just been not answering anything that any fan cares about at this point. But I feel like in the last 5 days, Jed Hoyer openly admitting that he regrets non-tendering Schwarber and then basically blaming ownership for it. Tom saying, we're just trying to break even. he tries to spews this narrative that fans are misinformed when it comes to spending, how they spend and all this. And it's like, I feel like Tom would say that at his big ass mansion, where he claims he yells and screams at the TV about the Cubs every night in the summer, and like complains about all of the fans who complain about him, like in his own closed doors. And the fact that he like went in front of a recording camera and a microphone and said it would just like, I guess I appreciate transparency, but I'm also like, I can't believe you said this.
So first of all, to get that transparency, apparently all we needed was David Kaplan.
Right.
But you know what's crazy, Cody, is like then Tom goes on ESPN 1000 and basically like says all the stuff again. Honestly, with a lot more regrettable words on ESPN 1000, like saying the fans are misinformed and that we shouldn't focus on payroll and like we should be much more focused on draft and the international pool and yada yada. I'm like, not only are you like basically telling fans that they're dumb, but you're also telling them what to care about. Like,
yeah,
what are we doing here?
You said it best when like even the diehard fans are not following who the Cubs are like taking in the international free agent draft or whatever, you know, like hell, even the MLB draft, no one really paid attention to it until like maybe sometime within the last 10 to 15 years. And that's probably because of the internet. And now you can find videos and content of all these dudes that you hear are linked to the Cubs in the draft and all that. And like, just to be honest with you, like when I was a kid, I wasn't on Twitter looking things up like that because it wasn't possible, you know? And now
I said once, I didn't know who Kyle Schwarber was till he took his first at bat.
Yeah.
And people are anxious and people are like tired of losing because they set their own standard, man, by winning the World Series. And that's just how I look at it, you know.
I don't care about Myrtle Beach. I'll tell you right now. I don't care.
Yeah.
There's people that probably care more about what's in Myrtle Beach than what's on the Major League roster.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that's a problem in general. I don't think it should be that serious.
Hey, Douglas Birdsell, is there a relation to Brandon?
Yes, sir. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. I had noticed your post about interviewing my son. One thing I'll tell you, he might be the strongest player on the team. I know in the minor leagues, like he squat in college 675 pounds.
Jesus.
Yeah,
he's built. I didn't realize how strong he is once I met him in person. I was like, oh, this guy's yoked.
But growing up, you know, in the Houston area, I often wondered if you don't look back, even these last couple of years, and the way Houston built their team, you know, there's a lot of painful years. And Altuve was the first one to come up, and then before you knew it, they had a core group of about 6 to 8 guys. Having these 8 to 10 players come up as a core group that could solidify years and years of winning. Just a thought I've had, just seeing all the talent that's on there with Moses Ballesteros, you know, coming up as a catcher, and Owen Casey and Matt Shaw and Cade, but that's a good core group that could have came up and just solidified a stable team. And I know you guys are tired of them losing and stuff. So coming in only the third year, you know, I haven't really felt the pain y'all have felt over the years. So that's kind of the point I wanted to make. And like I said, I'm glad Cody's off because he would probably rip me.
You know, one of the things I found interesting, I think it was the David Kaplan interview with Tom Ricketts. He said there was the 6 guys that had kind of come through the organization and how they figured, hey, we'll extend 2 to 3, we'll try to trade 2 to 3, and then whatever we can't work out from either an extension or a trade standpoint, we'll probably just have to let those guys go. And that was kind of a telling statement because it's like, you know, you look at the Braves and like they're able to extend all their guys really early on and for cheap. I mean, Ozzy Albies is on a 7-year, $35 million deal, or maybe it's 5 years, $35 million. Either way, it's just dirt cheap, you know? And then even Matt Olson, They got him for cheap. I think it was like $22 million a year, which is just a complete steal. When you compare Matt Olson to Dansby Swanson contract, that's a $5 million difference in Dansby Swanson's favor. It's pretty wild what the Braves are able to do, and I just wonder why Tom wouldn't look at that and say, hey, maybe now's the time to extend PCA. Maybe now's the time to extend Justin Steele. Maybe we don't wait until the ARB years are up. And yeah, I mean, they did it with Ian Happ and Nico Horner a couple of years before their ARB years were up. But I don't know, like those aren't the guys that you're like, yeah, these are the two guys that we build our team around. Like PCA is a guy that you could say, hey, you build your team around this kind of guy. And those 6 guys going back to the championship run, each one of those were guys that you build your team around. And so you're not going to win every single time you do one of those deals. But if you can come out on top in 4 of those 6 contracts, I mean, that's a big win overall to me. If you can get PCA on a 10-year, $80 million contract, that's $8 million a year. In 10 years, that will be nothing. Like that will feel like probably year number 1 of arbitration for just an average baseball player in 10 years.
Bobby Witt's dad's his agent. And
really? I didn't
know that.
Yeah. And so we talked to Bobby quite a bit, and he doesn't really talk about his son a whole lot. But I think that was one of the best things that KC did was to lock him up for that type of money. For whatever, I mean, that's a $40 million a year player in 2 or 3 years. Who was that Brewers kid that signed that long contract?
Churrio. Yeah, Jackson Churrio.
I was talking to Brandon about this actually one day, and I told him it's one of the smartest things I've seen a major league team do in a long time. And even if it doesn't work out, because he told me, he said there's a guy on his team that probably wouldn't run to the table to sign a $10 million a year contract for 7 years in AAA ball.
Yeah. He had never seen a major league pitch.
Yeah, I mean, if that's the route that goes, I really think that's super smart.
That was a lot of fun, but we want more people next time, and we need more people in this Facebook group. So invite as many of your Cubs fans friends.
I could do this for another hour and a half, but obviously we're at hour 16 already, so I know we got to wrap it up. But just sincerely, for everyone that participated or that was in the chat or wanted to get on and we didn't have time for it, sincerely, thank you. That was really a lot of fun.
Thank you. We're going to try to do this every week.
And do us a favor, invite your Cubs fans friends to our Facebook group so that we can have more people.